Hello. We are doing Digital Dealer today.
We are. This one's cute.
This might be my favorite block.
It's like a hedgehog, right?
It is. Super cute. And I like chenille, so, you know, that's also a bonus. So we have a standard bobbin in, and we're using our quilting thread that is a creamy white that we've been using. And
we have no-show mesh in our hoop.
We do.
And it's going to start by giving us a placement line for our batting.
For the batting, which I was digging out from down here.
We went ahead and put both design and quilting design in the hoop at the same time.
We sure did.
We just layered them on top of each other. This one is centered.
Everything is centered, yes. Quilting design and then hedgehog right in the middle of that little guy.
That has not always been the case with this.
This has had a lot. Yeah, anything with a stem pretty much has to be moved far, and even some other things, I think. But this particular one, yes, nice and easy. Don't have to really do much.
And easy, yeah. Should be pretty quick.
So this is just a placement line for batting. I'm hoping, since these are the ones that were sitting out, they're the good ones. Super easy to see thread.
Yep. So easy. You can see through the stabilizer pretty good though.
Yeah. All right. We are going to completely cover that. Tack that down.
And the background fabric on this one is orange, right?
It is.
Yep. So you could change to an orange color if you wanted to do your background quilting in something a little bit more blendy. There's little white flowers in this, so we're just going to stick with the same white. We think it'll be super cute.
Oh, we broke a needle.
All right, so we had a little snafu. We got our thread caught, and we broke our needle, so we fixed that up. And now we're finishing that part. And then we're going to go ahead and trim, because you don't want to leave that batting there. It's the beautiful thing about this process is we get to get the batting out of our
seam allowance.
Seam allowance, yes.
At least the tip of these are working really well, so.
Yeah, that's really good.
You definitely know when you have bad scissors when you're cutting batting. It's like a very frustrating thing to do with bad scissors. All right, looks good, nice and trimmed. We are going to, I would skip this at home. It's just going to be, it's going to be the placement line for your fabric.
We know it needs to go over top of that.
Spoiler alert, it has to cover the batting with a little bit around the sides.
Yep.
Yeah, we have definitely found that this thread neutral creamy white has kind of blended with just about everything.
Yeah.
It's what we've quilted all of our blocks with, which is why we're continuing. But like Sarah said, you know, you can certainly match the fabric if that's what you'd like to do.
Yep.
Oranges are hard.
Yes.
Unfortunately. So that's another reason to use cream. Getting the exact shade of orange can sometimes be very challenging.
Yeah.
So this is a simple.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't match my shirt today.
It does not. But it's a very cute shirt. I like the shirt. You know, we've got a couple different oranges in our thing. Our thread kit, that was that word.
Yes.
And
this is an interesting choice for a quilting design. It's kind of a, you really don't see the flowers with this background behind it.
I mean, you might as well just do the scallop.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cute, but
cute.
It blends even with white thread, it blends.
Yeah,
But it's very cute.
it is very cute.
But it shouldn't take very long either way.
No,
It'd go faster if it was just the scallop, though.
this is definitely true. It gets away from you.
Time does, absolutely.
So we are going to do the nose. This
Yep.
is the
Cute little pointed nose.
Yep, and I think we're going to use color number ES1146, and this is kind of like a light brown.
I think it is slightly lighter than the fabric, so it should stand off really nicely.
Yeah, there's a lot stuck in the base of that. Okay, I'm just going to pass the buck here because I can't. It's too wide. I can't reach it.
It is a long reach. All right, so we've got a placement line here. Zoom in a little bit more again. Oh, that was long. Okay, cover that little man up.
I'm not really sure, but I really thought that was going to be bigger.
I did too. But I suppose when you, this is only a 4x4 block, so it can't be too big, but that did feel a little small. It's like, oh, okay.
All right, so we're gonna trim that up, and then we're gonna leave the same color in, and we're gonna do the satin stitch for that.
Excuse me.
Satin stitches are usually pretty quick, especially with this tiny little piece here.
So big, I don't know what to do with it.
Eyes next.
Yep. I probably would have gone to the other color
Right.
had I not actually read the
Read the
instructions.
yeah.
I like that thread choice though.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
All right. The next thing that we're going to do is a really dark gray. This is going to be the eyes, and we have color number ES117 in here. I think there should be some fun commentary there. And then the handoff.
And
Flawless.
a good pass. Moving on. All right, we're going to do the little nose and the little eye. Yeah, so we went with the dark gray here versus black, which I think we've also done through most of it.
Yep.
It just gives it a little bit softer.
Yes.
Yeah, see, it's around that again. It's really weird.
Yeah. We're going to put in ES878. This is our darkest brown. And then we are going to do the placement line for the body.
This is definitely, we've chosen a little darker than the fabric. Sorry,
It's
bad
okay.
pass off. Fumble. All right, here we go. This has some zigzags. That'll be fun to cut.
Yeah, won't it?
Multiple times. Nice and tiny ones too.
So this is a chenille technique. So you're going to have more than one fabric.
So the one goes down by itself.
Yes.
Do not put all 4 layers down just off the
We
get.
need a base.
We need the base first, and then you'll have 3 more that will lay down after we have the base down and stitched. So we're going to completely cover that up with, again, just 1 piece and tack that down. Little fuzzies on there. Yep, I'm really supposed to trim and all this. Okay.
Twice.
Yep,
you're gonna trim around all of that for the single piece, and then we're gonna tape the 3 layers down. It's gonna do the same thing, and you're gonna trim it again.
So like 4 times. Yay! And we'll have fun. Shall I throw the hoop out the back door?
Yeah, Lisa loses her mind.
All right, here we go.
So you're gonna want your favorite double curve Fermore scissors for this. It's gonna make things a little bit easier. The favorite.
So I'm just kind of snipping on that little zag part with the scissors and then lifting here so I can get as tight in there, because your scissors aren't going to fit real great in that little notch. And there's a couple little notches. Just a couple.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's going to be some stitching that's going to go around this.
Yes, absolutely.
And this whole thing is supposed to have like a chenille look, so you're going to...
It's going to be fuzzy anyway.
Exactly. If you have a little extra hanging around there, it won't be a big deal at all. It'll just look like it's part of it.
Going to start the other direction now, since I'm going in the opposite direction of my zags this time, once I turn that edge around. Try a little bigger.
This is the riveting part.
I know. Should be an Olympic sport of cutting.
Should be. We have to be very quiet.
Yes. Be very quiet. Isn't that what Elmer Fudd
says?
Yeah. Very, very quiet.
Yes.
There's something special about Bugs Bunny.
I know. Won't it be cute if OESD has some Bugs Bunny designs?
Yes, yes it would.
That would be nice.
All right, that was fun. There we go.
And now
it actually wasn't that bad.
We're going to do it again.
So this is going to do that decorative stitch that's going to hold that those edges down. Yes.
Yes. We got a little candle wicking stitch go. I couldn't quite tell what that was on the screen.
I couldn't either, because it's going so many different directions. But you're right. That's what it is. This little guy's pretty dang cute, though.
It's very cute. Very, very cute. Yeah.
So I do have a chenilling tool that I use when I do this kind of stuff at home. I wasn't thinking and I didn't bring it. So we're not going to use the chenille tool, but it is very, very cool. It is a little rotary cutter.
Do we have one at the store? We can at least, we don't have to show using it, open it up, but
I honestly
maybe
don't know.
you talk about it and I'll look.
Okay, so what that is it's got a base to it, and then your rotary actually goes on top of it. So you tuck it in between your base fabric, which is what we've got right now, and then the top layers, and it cuts in between the stitch lines. And then you fuzz up those edges, and that's kind of how it goes. That is a phenomenal tool. So you want to pop over here real quick?
Yes.
This is definitely a great thing to have. This particular one has 3 additional blades other than the one that you have on. But what you see is it has the base. You can see it's up here as well. So this is the part that tucks into the fabric. And then the rotary blade, you pull and the blade comes down, but it stays inside the groove of that. So it doesn't cut the base fabric, it only cuts the top pieces. And voila, you have a nice, easy piece. Rather than trying to get a seam ripper through 3 layers of fabric, or you know, with scissors, you certainly can do it because you're going to see me do it today. But
yeah, it's great.
It is a wonderful tool if you are a chenille liking person.
Absolutely.
It's a great thing to have. So yeah.
All right. Next, we are just going to put the 3 extra fabrics that we have
So again, there's
over top.
multiple pieces here.
Because you did not put all 4 of them down.
Correct.
In the
So
first
I
step.
have 3 left. And when you cut your kits, you're going to have 8 pieces in there. So make sure you count.
Yep.
So you don't have too many on one
need to make
and
2 of
not
these.
enough of another. So do make sure that you are paying attention when you separate those out. All right, this is going to
tack it down.
Tack that down.
Yep.
So here we go. It of course tells you to tape in the directions. Not my thing. Ooh. Could hear that.
Yeah, trying to get if yours sounds a little funny, you've got those candle wicking stitches over there, and you've got kind of a blunted needle because that's what embroidery needles are. And so it's trying to go on the other side of those stitches. So it looks a little, it sounds a little funny.
It does. Don't panic.
Don't panic, no. Totally normal. It's not your machine freaking out. It's just the needle trying to find its place.
So you certainly can go through all 3 layers as long as your scissors are allowing you to. We'll see how well it goes. You can do just 1 layer at a time. What I have found, if I do 1 layer at a time, I tend to get like a pyramid effect. My top layer is closer than any of the others, and it just, not that that's a bad thing, because your edges are going to get frayed out and whatnot, so it won't really matter. But at the same time, you know, you always try to make it look as best as you can. So. Missed a layer. There we go. My curve didn't curve.
The nerve.
I know. Can you believe it? So is this supposed to be a basting stitch?
It is. You're going to have to, so after we do the chenille lines, they want you to take the basting stitch out.
So I'm going to tell you, it's a pretty tight basting stitch.
Yeah, I mean, a little trick that you could do with that at home is you could put your water-soluble bobbin in just for that stitch. That way you wouldn't have to try to use your seam ripper to get that out. You could just rinse, just rub your like a Q-tip on the bottom part of that part, and that would dissolve the stitches. That might be easier.
Yeah, especially with all of these ins and outs, finding all the stitches
Mm-hmm.
could be a little challenging.
Yeah.
I'll let you know because I'm gonna have to do it. Almost there.
And then we just have like some lines, and those become like the chenille line. So you basically end up with like tunnels of stitches, and then you trim in between them.
It's a very good description.
But you have to be able to get in between them, which is why we have to get those basting stitches out.
Yep, exactly.
So,
All right. So I got it pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect. So if you've got little bits, don't stress too much. You can always go back and trim after you've released all of them as well if you've got something that's a little longer than you want it to be. So these are going to kind of go in lots of different directions. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second.
mm-hmm. Almost done.
Almost. With stitching anyway.
Yep.
Got a little work to do. So we also have a chenilling brush, which is kind of like a tiny dish brush in that it's got stiff bristles that you can just rub over top. Once you've released all of the pieces, you can rub over top to help them fray out and fuzz up.
We have one of those on the shelf, on the shelf,
on
the wall.
On the wall as well.
When you start stitching, I'll bring that over so they can see.
So it's pretty cool. It does tend to fill up with stuff. You have to clean the brush out because it grabs the fabric edges and stuff, but that's okay. So that is these stitches could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, they probably couldn't make them bigger
because of how the
intricate
ziggy-zaggies.
the design was.
Yeah.
That's why it might be helpful to have water soluble.
Yeah, that would be a very good, if you have it for like fringe making and yeah, that would probably really help if you could just rub that around there and they'd fall out instead of having to pick all of those out because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful tip, especially for this type of, when there's so much, when it's just a circle, it's pretty easy, but all of these ins and outs, there's a lot of stitches in here. So you can see what I mean a little bit by them going in a lot of different directions. In all honesty, I'm not sure how well the chenille tool would get into the middle of some of that.
Right.
If I had one open, I would tell you, but I don't. So at least not here, but I think you could get in most of it. It might not make this corner that's going to be here because there's going to be a little stitch line in here. So it might not make that corner because of the long, if it was just the rotary, it could certainly do that, but you've got that straight piece in there that needs to go. So, but I have definitely made curves before with that tool. And that's why it's nice to have the different size width pieces.
Yeah.
My first chenilling tool did not have any change out pieces
on
there. It was one size fits all. And it worked great as long as the lines were far enough apart for that tool to go through because it was like a solid 1/4 inch in width, which meant you needed to have more than that. I think it was even more than a quarter.
Yeah, you've got some really tiny ones here. You got 4 millimeters. That's really small. That's probably the one
I would probably want for this.
For the little places there.
And I think they change out pretty simply.
I think so too.
But yeah, that's a really nice. I know that doesn't have Dime's name on it, but we get that through Dime, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 millimeters is pretty tiny tip that you could probably get to go around all of those because you can kind of push a little bit and make it curve.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I was gonna say we got to be just about done here. So now I get to have some fun. We're gonna call it fun.
I'll grab
I
the
have
brush.
used micro tips as well and tried snipping these sometimes when they get into a really hard area to work in, but we're basically going to just go into all of those exterior stitches and just pop those stitches so that the tool or your scissors can come in into that. So let's see if I can work backwards a little bit.
Here's a fray brush so you can show.
Oh yeah, there it is. Like it's a little dish brush. They're very stiff. So once you've cut everything, you just literally scrub your fabric and it fuzzes up those edges really well. Lots of stitches.
Okay, I just got your text.
Oh, I did try.
You did, yeah.
Did you think I ditched you again?
No, I actually was buried in, my head was buried in the,
That email.
let's hurry up and get this email done. So I didn't even realize what time it was.
Yeah, we could even pull up some of our older stabilizer screen things if we wanted to have something.
Yeah.
Nice if you can get them to run and pop instead of having to actually cut every one of them. It's not really working. I don't know that I have the best seam ripper in the world, but
Yeah, and even if you turned that around, you wouldn't really be able to see what you're doing.
right. It's
Because-
much easier if you're looking at the stitches from the inside.
Yeah.
But I've tried lots of different angles, but I can't quite. I don't know if that's because of the threads underneath.
Right. Well, I mean, you could take it out of the hoop if you need to, like, be able to get, you know, how then
Yeah,
you could
for
smush
sure.
it. So that's also an option if you really can't.
Because you don't need the hoop.
Right, because we're done.
We are done from any stitching perspective, so you absolutely can remove it from the hoop if you would like. But like usually you can pull once you get, these are not pulling at all. What was that?
I threw the brown thread on the floor.
Oh, okay. We're done with it. It's all good.
Yep. That'll be later's problem.
Glad I'm not later. All right, so I've had some fun, maybe, and I got all of the outside stitches off. I definitely, in this instance, would love that idea of the bobbin. This one was a lot of back and forthing, so that's a really great, if you have that ability, that would be really very helpful. That one was fun. So all we need to do now is cut from one side to the other side in each of the tunnels, as Sarah called them. What we are not cutting is that base layer of fabric. So the decorative stitches do kind of help because you can kind of see where that starts. But what we want to do is lift up and get your scissors or your chenilling tool and get right inside there. And we are going through all three top layers, but not the base layer. If you cut through the base layer, what's going to happen is you're going to see your orange background through your hedgehog or whatever the chenilling happens to be making. So that's why you have that base layer, is to keep the background the same color.
So it still looks like the hedgehog.
So it still looks like the hedgehog. And the fun thing about chenilling is you can actually have like different colors up top. So you can have you know, you could have a lighter and a darker brown fabric or something like that. So it's definitely a fun thing that you can play and get creative with. It doesn't have to just be a solid color. So the nice thing about the chenilling tool is that it prevents you from cutting through that base. It doesn't let you accidentally do that. So I just kind of wiggle until I know that my scissors are free and clear of that base piece. And then kind of push through. I'm not sure I actually got all three on that one. There we go. And I'm just going to keep spinning around. If you do have that chenille tool, I do think that the 4mm would work.
Yeah, it's not much wider than your scissor tip.
Mm-mm. And it's not super long. My old one was a lot longer than this one. The tip itself. I think I'm supposed to snip through here because there's an opening.
He's so cute.
All right, so that is before I've really fluffed it. You know, I'm just moving them to make sure I cut all the way through. That's really all that I've got going on right now. And so if I had this, it would really fuzz up, but I'm just going to use my nails and rub in the direction of my cut and get at least a little bit of fraying happening. And of course, that is supposed to appear like your fuzzy fur, and it's doing a pretty good job. They did a nice job with the lines. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, that didn't work. But this one actually is pretty good. Don't forget the outside edges. You want those to fuzz up as well. This is darling.
Yeah, so cute.
Missed these. Can't quite get a hold of them, but all right, you get the idea. There you go.
So cute.
He is absolutely darling. And then you will have a lot of this. So you'll maybe get some tape and just kind of go around and pull off all of the little fuzz balls that came off. But so cute.
He's so adorable.
He is adorable.
My favorite so far.
Definitely my favorite so far. I wish he was bigger.
I know, right?
So yeah, very, very cute, and definitely my favorite.
Yeah, that was so cute.
So welcome to September.
Yes. Yep.
This is what you'll be doing. And again, you need to make 2. You certainly could do 2 in the hoop if you wanted, because they're pretty small.
Yeah.
And they still aren't real heavy stitching, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. You could definitely do like a 7x12 or something and put 2. Even a 6x10 would work. Wouldn't be a lot of wiggle room in between, but it would work.
No, it's 4.5 with
4.5 with the
background quilting in there.
So you wouldn't have a whole lot of extra, but you certainly could do that.
Absolutely. So your design won't be in your Disney, or your Disney.
Your
design won't be in your Kimberbell account.
Digital, I think, is what you were actually trying to say.
Yes.
So it will show up on the 1st.
September 1st. Yeah.
This, of course, we put out that last Wednesday. So
yes. So this might be a tad bit early.
You might have what you're going to do a couple days early, but you won't be able to do it until the 1st. So,
all right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.